Welcome to a month in my reading life. Good morning. It's Friday. It's going to be Saturday when you see this, but it's Friday right now for me. And I don't have anything until about 4:30 this afternoon when I have to leave. So I'm going to get some work done so that I can get some reading done while I listen to the puzzle, while I work on the puzzle. The other thing is I'm not starting anything new because if you saw yesterday's video, I didn't finish anything yesterday. But what I did decide was since I'm only reading one chapter in this book, which is about 5 pages every day, and I don't have any other physical book except for Shaman's Crossing, I think I'm going to try to do 3 chapters instead of just 2, at least for this 6 days. And then when it switches over to the next 6 days, I'll just do 2 chapters until I'm done because I'll have other books to read in with that. So I hope that made sense. But I'm not even sure what I'm reading next physically for the next set of 6 days. But for these 6 days, I was just going to be reading this and I was going to do 100 pages a day. So if you missed the first discussion about that, these pages, like this is tiny print, and about 10 of these pages takes me almost 30 minutes just to read 10 pages. So that's a long time to get through all of these pages. So I had switched to where I was just doing 50 pages a day. But the new plan is that I think I'm just going to read extra for the next 4 days of my 6 days. And so then on the 19th, airplanes. And so then on the 19th, when I switch to my next set of 6 days, I will still be reading this, but I won't have to read 2 chapters of this and whatever else I'm reading in those 6 days. So that's what's going on with those books. I am still reading Bloodhound for my audiobook, and I'm still reading The Fires of Heaven with Andrew. And that's it. I'm reading my short story, those 2 physical books, and the 2 books on audio. And that's all I have right now. I do still have a Stephen King book on hold at the library. So if it becomes available today before I finish Bloodhound, then I'm going to switch to that. I'm also going to the actual library to pick up a book that they have on hold for me. And it's a graphic novel. So I think I'm definitely going to just slide it into my physical books and start reading it tomorrow and see how long it takes me to read that one. And I think that's all for today. I had a moment this morning, and it's very unusual how my particular brand of anxiety and trauma triggers happen. And I am on medication for PTSD. But that does not mean that it works all the time. Mine is specifically medically related. And I'll just say this is the basis of the whole thing. And I don't want to do anything that'll make anybody feel uncomfortable. So this is what I'll say. Also, I have 0 problem talking about this and my journey through this. So if somebody does want to talk about it, I have no problem doing that. But I don't just want to fling it on people. So I'll say this. My body messed up in a certain way, but didn't cause me any pain. And so what it told my brain was that there could be something really wrong with my body and it wouldn't hurt. And so now my brain constantly scans my body to feel if anything feels weird. I'm not necessarily looking for pain, although pain does, of course, make me go, oh, there's something wrong. But so my brain constantly in the background of whatever I'm doing is scanning my body, going, does that feel weird? Is there a weird thing on your arm? Constantly. And so there are things that I have worked around and ways that I have overcome it. And I did do some specific therapy that moves the traumatic event that triggered all of this from what you're currently experiencing into the past. So it moves it from the side of your brain that's like, this is real time and we're in it right now, into this happened to me before, but I'm not in it right now. And so I did all of that and it helped a lot. But there are still things that happen, or there are still things that my brain finds as it's scanning my body. And it's like, oh, something's wrong with your body. And it sends my whole body into a panic until my brain overrides the freak out part of my brain. And we say, no, here's what's true. If there is something wrong, here is the next step to fix it. So anyway, it's like my brain thinks every twinge and every weird feeling is cause for a 911 call and an emergency situation. And so anyway, I had one of those episodes this morning, and I used to just distract myself all the time with audiobooks or other forms of any kind of distraction, a game on my phone or anything that could be a distraction. Through therapy, I have been working on just being in it and working my way out of it. And so I did that this morning. I didn't turn to anything, which may be the first time ever that I've done that. And I will say that I do still have the anxious feeling in my stomach. To me, it feels like swirly things in my stomach. And I do still have that even now. I mean, it's been 2 hours maybe. And so that is still there. I do still feel a low level of anxiety, but I'm definitely not feeling the effect of the whole thing. So that is an amazing accomplishment, I feel like. And so anyway, I am going to jump right into my day, and I'm going to just take extra time sitting with my babies today and cuddling the puppies. And I'm glad I don't have a lot of stuff to do today so that I can take breaks if I need to and just listen to my brain, but not let it freak out. Okay, so I think that's it. I think Django wants to say good morning. It's clearly muddy outside, and his paws are muddy, and now I am muddy. Right. Okay, hi. It's 11:45 in the morning. I am done with work. I've done everything I have to do for today. I have 5 hours free. So first thing is that I do want to work on the puzzle while I do some audiobooks. But I was flipping through my planner. This is my daily planner. It has every day has a little page. Anyway, I realized that at the back of this, I put my Aurelium Academy study thing back here. I also put every book that I wanted to read this month. And I even put dots beside them so that I can check them off when I finished reading them. It is now the 15th of the month, and I just now found this page again. So I'm going to go through here and check off the books that I have read and just make sure that this page here matches the one that I've been using on my Google Drive, the document that I make every month, and just make sure that I actually did it right. But I even color coordinated what was for Adrian and what was for Emmeline on my everything. So I think this might have been the rough draft thing that I wrote before I put it all on the computer. I don't know. And that is leading me into a topic that I wanted to talk about right quick. So I have all these ideas for series that I would like to do. I also talked with my mother today about whether series or series is a word, and I think it's just series. So about series that I want to do on my channel. I don't know. Well, okay, so I was watching Dusty Book Sniffer's Nicole's video today, and she's doing the Around the World book challenge, but she's just starting with the A's. I mean, she's starting at the beginning of the alphabet and working her way all the way through, and I just thought that would be such a cool thing to do, and you could, you don't have to read a ton of books, so that would be a cool challenge to do. I also got an email a few days ago from Amazon saying their best books from April, the best books that came out in April that they've read, and there was a list from the editors at Amazon. And I followed that link, and I was looking at those books, and then I saw a thing over to the side that the Amazon editors have created 100 books to read in a lifetime. And I thought, I could read those books and make that into a series on my channel. And then there was something else that I saw that made me think about turning that into a series. Oh, I know what it was. It was the recapped thing that I was talking about before. And I was like, oh, I could turn that into a series on my channel. And this happens to me constantly. Just in the last week, there's 3 things that I've been like, oh, I could do that and make that a series. But then there's other things. I saw I saw Barb's video at Barb's Bookland where she was doing an author spotlight, which I'm sure she's not the only one that's ever done that, but that's where I saw it. And I was like, oh, she just read like 2 or 3 books by this one author and talked about it. And I thought, oh, I could do that. Like I could spotlight an author and tell a little bit about their life and then read books by them. And then I saw another video. Let me see who did this video. I'm going to have to link a lot of stuff below. Oh, no, this was not a booktuber. This was a thing that they have on Stephen Colbert on his talk show where it says like 5 books that I'm reading or my top 5 books. I don't even remember what it is, but he interviewed Stephen King and he said what his top 5 books are. And there's a few other people who have shared like their favorite books. And I was like, oh, I could do that. Like I could pick an author or a famous person and read their 5 favorite books and talk about that. There's always a ton of videos that are like, I read my favorite YouTuber's favorite books or whatever. And so like I could pick some YouTubers that I like and I could read some of their favorite books. And I don't know, I just constantly have all of these things going in my head, and I don't know how to determine what is a good idea and what isn't a good idea but not for me, and what is not a good idea. Like, I don't know how to decide what is what, and my poor husband cannot constantly be like fielding these questions from me. Like, hey, do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this is a good idea? He watches no booktube content. He watches a lot of YouTube, but nothing about books. And so, I don't know. I just feel like I need a committee around me that I can just say like, oh, I have this idea. What do you think about this? And see what they say. Because like, I wanted to start a completely new channel about the recapped thing. And I was just going to call it Reading Recapped. And I would go through series and like break them down chapter by chapter so that people can watch the video from book 1 before they read book 2 to like remind them of what happened before they go into the next one. I don't know, but I felt like instead of having that get like lost on my channel, it needed to be a completely separate channel. So I don't know. And I don't feel like it's not that I don't have enough time. Because with my work schedule the way it is and me getting to determine the hours that I work and the things that I do have some extra time. And I think that might be my downfall, is that I have the extra time and I'm trying to figure out what should go in there, like how I should use that time. And it feels like there's so many competing things that want to jump in on that time. And since we're about to have a child move out, once we move, I'm going to have even more time. And then there are other things that I want to do that are completely unrelated to reading. Like I really wanted to start, so we have a channel that is about hiking and adventuring and touristy things that's completely separate and has nothing to do with reading. And so like I wanted to create, there's also another channel that's just about making things. It actually is there's no talking and no faces on the camera. It's just everything that the people in my house build. So if I put together a puzzle, if somebody builds a Lego kit, if I do a diamond painting, like all of that stuff gets recorded on the GoPro and gets edited and just put up with just music, just like background music. So there's no talking. It's really easy to do. What I'm saying, I guess, is that I already have multiple channels. And I don't know that starting another channel is the right answer for this. Maybe everything that has to do with books I do in this channel, but all of the advice for like really growing is to find your niche, right? Your niche, however you say that word, to just get it down to the smallest thing and find the people who like that thing. And I don't know, I cannot for sure get myself down to nothing. Like my blog was literally named I'm a Polymath because I like so many things. I am interested in so many things. And I hate that I have to just dial down to like one thing to be able to talk about, because I want to talk about a lot of stuff. So I am sorry that I have rambled for like 10 minutes on this update, and that is longer than the video that even went up today. So I'm going to hush, I'm going to go read, and I will not be back until tomorrow with my update. But I would like to hear your thoughts about this. If this is something that you struggle with, if you have a channel, if you're wanting to get a channel, like, where do you fall in all of this discussion? Okay, I'll be back tomorrow. I know I said I would be back tomorrow, and it's 3:15 in the afternoon, but I just wanted to come on here because tonight at midnight is our 24-hour readathon that we do on the It Rotates, whose channel it's on. I had it last month, so it'll probably be 4 or 5 months before it's back around to my turn. And tonight we're reading Fortuna Sworn. Fortuna? I don't know. It's like fortune, so I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but where do I have it? I have it here because I found it on audio. I think it's at my library, Libby app. So here it is, Fortuna Sworn. And we're reading it starting at midnight. It might actually be starting at 11 tonight, my time, because it's being hosted by Yolene, who lives in Europe. I think I know what country she lives in, but I'm not going to say it and they'd be wrong. So she's hosting tonight. And so I'm not exactly sure the time change and time zones and how all that works. So all that to be said, I just finished reading The Way of Shadows, my daily, 1 chapter for that. And today I read 3 chapters of this. And so I just finished chapter 7. I am really liking this. Like, I like all the explanations of how things work in the families. Like, the first son inherits the land and all of the holdings. The second son, it becomes a military person, so they become a soldier. The third son becomes a priest. And then there's on down the line to like the 4th and 5th son, if you continue to have that many sons. And then the daughters each have a thing that they get, or the first 2 do. I don't know exactly how the daughters work, and I don't mean I like it in that I think it's a good idea. I like how organized it is. I like how organized and specific everything is. The other thing that I really love about it is the second son gets a notebook on his 18th birthday. When he becomes a man, he gets like a journal, and he's supposed to write down any military thing that he's a part of and what he does. And it's just like his journal, and it gets sent back to his older brother to be put in their family holdings. And then when his children, all of his sons, our guy's name is Navarre, and all of his sons will be military men as well, and they will all get journals, and those journals will be sent to their uncle, his holdings. And so their whole family line of all the journals and the battles and all that stuff will be kept together in one place. I think that is amazing, like as far as like family history goes, and knowing the things that your people were part of and the things that they helped do. I think that would be very cool. And I wish there was something similar to that, at least in that way. I definitely don't want to be telling people like, oh, the firstborn has to do this and the secondborn has to do this, whatever. And so anyway, I also can't stop yawning because I'm tired and it's only 3:20 now. So I have an hour before I leave to go take my son. He's going to go meet his friends at IHOP to eat tonight before we have our service. So I'm going to take him over there, and then I'm going to do the thing at my church, and then we have the actual church service. So during all that time, all the driving and all of the waiting, I'm going to be trying to finish Bloodhound, which is Becca Cooper's, that series about Becca. And so I want to get that done before Fortuna Sworn starts tonight, but I don't know if I'm going to. I just don't know if I have time. So if I don't finish Bloodhound, I'm just going to postpone it for 24 hours because we try to read this book in 24 hours. So we start at midnight or maybe 11. It doesn't really matter when we start. We have 24 hours from then to try to finish it. So I try to read nothing else but that book for 24 hours. So it's just a fun little thing. And I don't I don't ever even vote in what we're reading because I usually don't have an opinion about it. And some people ask for votes and some people don't because they're like, I've just been wanting to read this book, so this is what we're reading. And then some people offer 2 or 3 books for us to vote on. So I'll make sure that I link that Discord down below and you can go over there and join, and we're going to do it tonight. So I think that's all. And I know I said I would update in the morning, but I might throw in some clips of us either at church or maybe doing the live stream tonight that's happening. I'm not going to video all of that because I'll be over 30 minutes by the time I talk about all of that. But I will come in the morning when I wake up, which will be later than normal because I'm going to stay up for a couple hours tonight and read after we kick the thing off. Okay, it is 11:41:42. We're going to be going live in about 18 minutes and starting Fortuna Sworn. I don't know anything about it except I think it might be fantasy romance. I'm not sure. I'll find out when we start tonight. I finished Bloodhound. I have done nothing but read since we got back from church tonight because I really wanted to get it done so that I could spend the next 24 hours just working on that. Fortuna Sworn, though, I couldn't find it on audio without having to pay for it. And so I'm reading it on ebook, but it's on Scribd. So I can read it on my computer and I can read it on my phone, but it's not on audio. So anyway, we'll see if I can finish it. I hope that I can, but tomorrow I would still like to read all the physical stuff that I do, except for The Way of Shadows, the book club book. I am too far ahead right now of some people, so I'm taking a break on it for a few days and letting everybody else catch up. I do want to talk about the book I got from the library. It's Deafo by Cece Bell. I picked it up on the way to take my son and drop him off, and I'm almost done already. I read all of this part while I was waiting for our church service to start. So it's such a good story. I mean, it's fantastic. And I decided to read this because this is the book that Amy recommended for our role that she did on the Game of Life that she does. And she recommended this book that involved a doctor because she got meningitis, Cece, the main character, when she was 4 years old and lost her hearing. And now she pretends like she's a superhero called Deafo. It's so good. All right. Anyway, I'm not quite finished with it yet, but I'll definitely finish it tomorrow. Maybe I'll do that in the middle of some other stuff. It doesn't matter because that's not what today is about. I also picked this up from the library, The Best American Mystery and Suspense from 2021, just because it was in the new book section. And I was like, hey, that's a compilation, a collection of stories. And so I just picked it up. So I'm going to flip through it the next few weeks, see if anything jumps out at me that I want to, continue with. I think that's it. I just wanted to tell you about the books I got from the library and what I thought about Bloodhound. Okay, Bloodhound. This is the second book about Becca Cooper, and it's just so good. Their police people are called dogs, not in a bad way. Like, they're literally known as dogs. And so when you're starting out, you're a puppy when you're training. And so anyway, it's just really cute the way it's all, like, that's how it's done. And the thieves and the low-level criminals are all called rats. And so it's funny that she'll be like a four-legged dog or a four-legged rat. Well, I am doing a lot of yawning 15 minutes before we go live. I'm probably going to have to go get another caffeinated beverage before we start. Anyway, Becca and her temporary partner, whose name is Goodwin, which is my maiden name. I love it. Anyway, the two of them have to travel to another town to research some coins, counterfeit coins that are in circulation, and try to figure out where they're coming from. The mystery of that was really good. Like, we kind of know who the bad guy is. But it's even, like, there are a few little twists in there before we actually find out who is responsible for the fake coins. So, it was good. And I have one more left in that series. I actually have one more book in all of Tortal. And then I need to go check her website and see if she's writing more that are going to be set there, or if all of her new books are in the New World, which is the next thing I'm going to start reading. So that's it for right now. This video is going to be really long because this day has been really long and it's not over yet. So I might check in later for Fortuna Sworn. Probably just going to see you in the morning after I get some sleep. Good morning. I just finished my workout. Now I'm back. What did I finish? I didn't finish anything that I haven't talked about. I did do Fortuna Sworn live stream last night. I went to bed about 3 a.m. I got through 5 chapters of the book before I went to bed, and I'm going to read some more today, but that's not what this is about. This is about yesterday. Okay, again, it's 9 o'clock, so my cleaning robot is going into the kitchen. Okay, yesterday I read a total of 167 pages and 9 hours and 45 minutes of audio. Now, understanding, that was from when I woke up at 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, all the way through till almost 3 a.m. So that was a long time to have a lot of time to read, and that reflected in the number of actual pages, physical pages, as opposed to the number of audio hours was about the same. Even though I did have a little longer to read last night because I really wanted to finish Bloodhound before we started the live stream. Okay, that brings the total to 1,688 pages and 127 hours and 3 minutes of audio. So that is where we are. I'm going to go ahead and go because I know this video is really long. Thank you so much if you have stuck around. If you have any questions for me, we still have 14 days left. Django's whining. It's time to give him his stick this morning. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.